Afternoon, everyone. My name is Hannah Olivas. I am one of the CEOs of She Rises Studios and Sands Press. I am joined today with a phenomenal creative writer. His name is Henry Cline, and today is the release of his book, Summoning the Gowl-Die. So welcome.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. Oh, appreciate it.
A lot of people, this is kind of a new thing. A lot of people do not know that we have changed the narrative and we publish women and men. And we also don't just focus on self-help books, but we actually have expanded our horizons. And you definitely have written a book that is in perfect timing with the season. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, me personally, I have just always had a love for writing, even before I actually knew how to do it. When I have like an early memory of being about 7 years old at a roll top desk and just kind of scribbling what I thought were my thoughts. But and then in fifth grade, I started taking writing really serious and started attempting to write novels. And I've just been doing that ever since. So I used to write a book a year, and then COVID hit and I kind of took a little bit of a break. But and then I kind of bounced back in 2023 with this book, Summoning the Gowl-Die.
So without giving too much away, give me a little small synopsis of what this book is about.
Sure. So I don't usually write about Oklahoma, weirdly enough, which is where I'm born and raised. But I, for this specific book, it's mainly about a kind of troubled teenager that's just kind of looking for an escape. And he's prompted by his aunt and uncle kind of in a remote part of Oklahoma that, he can go do some house sitting for them. And so he goes ahead and goes to their house. And while he's there, the neighbors are just kind of creepy. And just things start kind of unfolding day after day as he's there.
What inspired you to title it Summoning the Gowl-Die?
Sure. So the Gowl-Die is a made-up creature. And I really don't know where that name came from. It was just kind of hit me. And a lot of times when I think of something like that, I usually have to do a Google search real quick to make sure it doesn't mean something else that I don't want it to or whatever. So I lucked out on this one. But yeah, I don't know. That just kind of like some kind of creature feature. That's kind of what horror I like anyway. So that's just kind of what I went with.
Are there any authors or books who've inspired you to want to pursue your career as an author?
Well, I will say right off the bat, rest in peace, Nelson DeMille. He was one that I read, like Plum Island and The Lion's Game and I believe the John Corey series is what that character's called. But he was an inspiration to me. DJ McHale. And oh my gosh, his name escapes me now, but like the Alex Rider series, which was a young adult, but like a secret agent at the same time. I thought that was really cool that you could kind of have best of both worlds with like James Bond plus, but like it's a younger kid doing, all these crazy missions and stuff.
So from your book, what can readers expect from reading this book?
Well, it has a lot of the spooky, and it has the mysterious and a bit of the occult and a bit of a cult as well. I think, this one is a bit of a stepping stone, so it definitely could move on to other novels potentially, fingers crossed. But for this one specifically, it's just a very um, you're going to have a feeling of being stuck in a very unfamiliar area and, being vastly outnumbered by your kooky neighbors. So
I think some of us all have at least one kooky neighbor. Hopefully not as kooky as what's in your book, though.
Yeah, right.
So speaking of stuck, did you experience any kind of writer's block in your creativity of this book?
This book, no, actually. I was really shocked. Like I said, I know a lot of people had like a burst of creativity with COVID because we were all isolated and everything. For whatever reason, that did not happen with me. I kind of had the opposite, where I had been writing for so long that I just kind of like, plateaued a little bit. But no, I just at the time, my girlfriend, who's now my wife, but I was talking to her, or I guess she was my fiance at the time, but I was telling her like, hey, I think I have an idea for a horror book. And she was elated because she really wanted me to write something like that. And so I got her all excited, and I was like, I think I finally got an idea. And I finished this book within a month. It was an idea I had for a few years, but like I never wrote out any templates or anything, and then I just kind of went for it.
So you wrote a book and got married all during the pandemic.
Sure did. Yeah.
That's inspiring.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we moved in together June of 2020, so that was when it was still, very early on, and we figured, if we could make it through that we could probably, keep it going. So
that could be a book itself, honestly. So many people went through so many different transitions and changes through COVID, but writing an entire thriller novel, I don't know if that would be something I could do. I think it takes a certain amount of creativity to be able to write those types of books. So you mentioned a little earlier, do you think there's a sequel to what you've written?
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, if it's not too early, I'll say definitely. But if it is too early, then no, I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
So where can people find this amazing book?
Definitely going to be, Amazon.com. I believe any major retailer like Barnes and Noble or something, you could have it ordered there. Or I do offer, just for the physical copies, I do offer them on my website, thehenrycline.com. It might be kind of limited quantities at certain times, but I'll try to sign everyone that gets ordered from there. So if you want a signed copy, you can order it from my website.
And how can readers kind of follow along with you in your journey as an author? Where's the best place for them to connect with you?
So I'm actually going to be at the Henry Cline on all socials. Somebody already took Henry Cline, so I had to be pretentious and be the Henry Cline for my website, my socials, and all that. So, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, Threads. I try to post on there. Sometimes I kind of forget. And and my website, thehenrycline.com. So.
Now, did you have any part of the creation of book cover, like all the behind the scenes things that take into account to make an incredible book like this?
Yeah, a little bit. So, I mean, I very much trusted. So I came from Sans Press and to She Rises, as you mentioned at the beginning. So, I really just trusted that team to go ahead and make a cover. And, the first one they sent me was, very vibrant and popping. And I saw it and I was kind of taken aback a little bit, and then I just I reached out to like my trusted confidants, family and friends, and they were like, yes, like go with this cover. This is the way it should look. This is what's going to grab people's attention. So that was really cool. I I kind of gave a little bit of, you know, what was going on in the book, or like a blurb, and then they just hit me back with that cover. So that was really cool.
Wow. So are you going to be doing any in-person book signings or things in your area? What's on the
Yes,
horizon?
absolutely. So tentatively speaking, October 26th is going to be some kind of shindig, um, whether that be at, I'm not sure if it's going to be at Barnes & Noble or if it's going to be at a restaurant. So that's still pending, but I'll get it cleared up here very soon. So,
Well, please share
but
it
you
with us
can,
so we can share it to everyone.
absolutely, yes. I'll make sure to let you all know, and especially on my Facebook as well.
So this isn't your first book rodeo, so to speak, but how is this round for you so far? What's your takeaway?
So yeah, way back, I mean, I say way back, but 9 years ago, in 2015, like I did my first ever like self-publishing for my young adult murder mystery, Too Close for Comfort. And, you know, that did pretty well. And, you know, local support wise, everybody was real nice and everything. And then from there, I was picked up by Sands Press in 2017 for my gangster epic, The Platinum Briefcase. So I guess I should have had them all right here to start going like this. But anyway, and then they were nice enough to go ahead and pick up Too Close for Comfort. And then that had 2 sequels. So Close Enough and Closer Than Expected. And then the acquisition from Sands Press to She Rises was a big surprise to all of us, like in a great way. You know, we were all real excited when we heard the news. So you all were nice enough to go ahead and pick up where Sands Press left off with Summoning the Gowl-Die. And the editing was great. Everyone was very professional. You know, everybody was very communicative and everything. So I don't have any complaints at all, really. I would just say that everything was very smooth, and it's been really great working with everybody. I won't do any name drops, but you know, with you and you know all the people behind the scenes, it's been great. So.
That's awesome. So what would you say to a young inspired or a young aspiring author? What are some of the things, like the little bits of advice or things that you could tell, you know, the youth that are coming into storytelling? Any advice?
Well, try to surround yourself with like-minded and good people. You know, anybody who's going to be, you know, even growing up, like, you know, just my teachers, you know, my family and friends, like everybody was just very, very supportive. You know, when I was in first grade, I wrote just like a little Superman ripoff story, you know, that was like 10 pages long. And my teacher saw it and she just went, oh, well, when school's about to be up and we're about to release everybody, like, do you want to come up in front of the class and just read it, you know, to everybody? So that was a big deal to me. So I would just say, you know, try to surround yourself with good people that'll support you and everything. And I would also say that, you know, we're always going to be our own worst critics. So, you know, be easy on yourself if you can, you know, and also try to stay aware if you do write something completely idiotic that might need to be tamed down or whatnot. So.
So you wrote a 10-page story in first grade?
I did, yeah.
I think that was your first inclination that you were going to be a writer.
Yeah, I always do the scribble story at the roll top desk, but you know, that's illegible and I don't have that. I think my mom still has the Superman story somewhere tucked away, but you know,
Wow.
weirdly enough, the superhero was named Henry. I don't know where that came from, but you know, anyway, so.
So are you, in terms of like your style, are you old school writer, like everything has to be handwritten? Or are you doing the tech where everything's typed, or is it a combo?
I've advanced over the years. In school, I didn't really have the option to, have like these darn kids nowadays with their tablets and stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But I had those like 200-page black notebooks that you get at Walmart or Dollar General or wherever, and I would just fill those up. So my books could only be those 200 pages, and then I had to wrap it up before I got to the end because I didn't know how else to expand. So first grade was the Superman story, and then I guess I took a break for a few years, and then in fifth grade I started getting those notebooks and handwriting them, and then by the end of my high school years, I graduated in 2013, so I started just typing all my books and doing like a chapter by chapter outline, and then would just type from that inspiration. So
I'm going to do something that I typically don't do on Light the Torches, but I think you're the perfect candidate.
Uh-oh.
Can you share how, like, the very first sentence of your book, of the first chapter, starts?
Can I summarize it?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say, does it have to be a one-word summary?
No, it could be.
Okay, great. I would say teenage self-esteem issues there is kind of the beginning of the book. A very, kind of a bullied kid, that's just kind of expressing himself and finally, speaking to an audience that might want to hear him. That's kind of how it all starts off. It's just
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations to you on this book. And for anyone who's watching live, who's going to watch the replay, you can get this book on Amazon. It is currently circulating through all the on and offline retailers. Summoning the Gowl-Die by Henry Cline. As Henry mentioned, you can follow him at the Henry Cline because he's the one and only Henry Cline, author of Summoning the Gowl-Die. Many wishes of success on this book and every other book that you have in the works. Congratulations to you. Congratulations on being married, writing, and everything that you're doing. And for anyone watching, grab this book. He is in bestseller and international bestseller campaign. We are in the spooktacular time of the year. So, and this also is a great gift to give somebody during the holiday season. Well, actually anytime really. But if you're looking for gifts to give, this is definitely one of those fun ones. Share reviews, connect with him, and be a part of his author journey. And thank you.
I appreciate it, Hannah. You all have been great. So thank you so much for this. And this was a great interview stream and things. And it was great. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Don't forget, grab that book, Summoning the Gowl-Die by Henry Cline. You can connect with him on all social platforms at the Henry Cline. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.